Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I really apologize for all these technical issues. You guys don't understand how is the marathon trying to make this to happen. But I'm really proud that we're doing it for a great reason. I'm really motivated and excited. The last 2 weeks of my life, I've been focused extremely in this process. Something that was a dream, something that I didn't have the comprehension of how much people is going to be engaged into the concept. And I think everything happened for a reason. We have this way to utilize the time that we have in a more positive way. I want to say thank you for each of you, every single person that agree and get engaged with this subject that we created, that is honestly a reality of life. I'm so inspired, and I've been inspired for many people during many years. And all the team, all this great group of speakers is people that in one way or another way influence my life, my thinking process. And that's what I feel that I have to share these experiences with you. Many times I came back with excitement, trying to share all the beautiful of everything that I learned, but that's not the same. So one day I will have the dream that I would love to bring people with important concepts related with dentistry and occlusion, and that we necessarily need to be thinking in the same way. So I want to use this time to invite you guys to enjoy this experience with us, to find out how many things we have in common. The idea of this concept is to motivate the people to create new expectations about occlusion, to be able to show how successful people has been treating patients amazingly and predictably, and how many people have been finding different definitions of occlusion depending on the scope that they see. And that's my case. That's my life. That's how I get inspired. That's what every time I continue looking for more information, for more knowledge, to be able to see life from a different perspective and function. I'm being so grateful and blessed that I have amazing people in my life. I think this group of people is gonna maybe inspire us, so I'm not baby, I'm for sure that they're gonna inspire us, that is gonna show us how passionate they are for what they do, and we will find out how many things we have in common. At the end of this event, if I just create some passion for a few people to see how people around the globe, they think different, but they try to contain and keep the same vision. We have too many things in common. And many times people argue about occlusion because they focus mostly in the differences. But we are successful. They all have amazing foundations for research for years, and the success of multiple cases to be amazing. And then sometimes think people why I should change if I've been trying right. So I'm gonna use this moment to talk about somebody that really has been an inspiration for me, that in life, it shows how is the value for principles to share the same values and beliefs with people, to be able to understand what is your why. And my why is that I believe in occlusion, that I believe that this can be something that can be passionate, people can be passionate about, that maybe can have the answers of too many things, that the only thing that we have to do is eventually just to have an open mind and listen why these people think this way. So one of the things that I love the most about Simon Sinek, that is a big inspiration for me, is that he always think in a positive way. He always engaged to people to find out what the reasons that you do, what you feel, your emotions. And then after that, you find out the resources, how you're gonna make that to happen. And always it's gonna be a positive reaction. One of the biggest books that I like it a lot, and I read them pretty much all of him, because I think it's important to feed your body and feed your mind and feed your spirit. and mostly in these times that is demanding a change. We cannot continue with the same people that we were before. We definitely need to do something different. So what I like about this book about the infinite game is that describe a game between two teams. One is a finite and the other one is infinite. In the finite game, everything is well defined. Is rules, can be kind of different kind of players that they can play, but they have to follow a specific pattern to play the rules. Nothing can be discovered. Everything follows a pattern, and always is going to be a winner. That winner is going to be the person that will perform the best under those rules and those conditions. But in the infinite game, it's never an end, never finish. It's no rules, it's no limits. The limits are where we want to end up. And this is the game that I decide to play. I decide to try to find out what was occlusion, independent of what it was, with independent where with this star, independent how many beliefs I need to forget, and independent of how more harder I will need to try. And of course, this will demand dedication, a lot of research, a lot of study, a lot of to listen about what the literature says. But unfortunately, the literature doesn't report too many things because many of them are new or has been controversial, that they really need to have something that create an even impact that people can start looking at. So I want to invite you guys to this event to play the infinite game, where we're gonna have experience and knowledge of people coming from different philosophies of occlusion. I'm gonna put some rules because we're in the house and we want to try to keep a more friendly environment, because most of the time occlusion create different criteria, and that will create some emotions that in some time prevent us to know more and better. Over life, I think we get matured and then we change personalities. And I remember myself 15 years ago, 10 years ago, when it was a fighting explosion ball. Everything that has related with occlusion, I would thought that I would knew it all. I have a crazy transition from start to thinking occlusion was just the relation of the teeth together, to get exposed to neuromuscular dentistry, to see that muscles matters, to get exposed to craniocervical spine with Roccabato, that it shows me how many other things I have to be aware, to get to know Robert Walker, and he's gonna complicate my life more, thinking that the skull is moving, and then now I need to control the movement of those bones to stabilize my joints. And then we start thinking in airway. And when we start thinking in airway, we start seeing things that trigger the joints, but facilitate the airway. And then you didn't know where to start. And I was like dogmatic, but we continue looking for information. I think one of the last part of all this equation that I've been learning has been to understand the joints more. And I've been inspired for people that they handle and manage the joints fantastically. So that's what I put this lineup of speakers, that people that I met for a few years. Some I met for 17 years, but the other ones, they've been pretty fresh in my life. But they don't have, every single one has an important component that is important into the way that we think in the physiology of occlusion. Something that I've been talking about for a long time is to understand that is many components involved into the system and right now. And that maybe the best way to know the most is to get the information. And since I get the information for these gentlemen, these big doctors, these big minds about things that inspire me, I decided that I was trying to make some calls to my friends to see if they want to participate in an event that they can share some of that information that impact my life. So I want to make, first of all, to say thank you to every single of these magnificent doctors. I'm so blessed that I have a personal friendship relations with them. I'm really proud that they give me the opportunity. We create this event. This event is called Move Out of the Box. And what we're gonna do is to interview these 22 passionate dentists about how they've been successful, what are the protocols that they use, and some definitions, and we standardize some questions so we're gonna have an idea of what we're talking about. So we're gonna be able to have this event open officially on Monday. We're gonna have all these magnificent doctors to share with us the experiences about how they see occlusion. So I want that you join us in this series of videos. This is the schedule that we have. We will present more about the details, but here is the information about the interviews. On Monday, I'm gonna be introducing you with my partner Hamid Nassery, that is gonna be the kind moderator that is gonna help us to guide us around the questions. He's an amazing physician. He's a rock star behind the scenes. We've been working together for many, many years. And something that I can tell you is has an amazing personality, the best to handle an event like that we all full in emotions. I want to remember every single person that this event is not about controversies in occlusion. We don't want to prove the humanity that we think different, because it's a fact that as a human beings, we have to think different. The only point that we want to do for this is to show what we have in common. And then we're gonna learn how they perform that commonality that we have to try to do it better. Let's inspire ourselves. I believe that we're gonna be able to change the world. I believe that this can be different in some point. I believe that after that this happens, it's gonna be such a lot of economical changes that is gonna impact our business in all manners. And I think what we have to do is to be prepared. Prepare with the education, prepare with the strategies. Maybe the nature is pushing us hard, it's influencing us to do something. Maybe this is the time to take dentistry to a different level, where a bigger concern about the human body as an entire unit can be what can make us one person again. We cannot be that disconnected. It's not good for the future. I have a daughter, 6 years old, and I'm really concerned what is gonna be the life and the world that she's gonna be hanging. I dream about every day deciding that she became a dentist and a technician, that he follows this passion for dentistry, and so far she does. But I'm really concerned about how it's gonna be this environment for her, and I want to invite you that we all together build up a better future. So don't forget about this. We're gonna be promoting the schedule again, but don't forget it. We're gonna have 3 sessions a day for 8 days. We're gonna have a session in the morning. Everything is Miami times. So we're gonna be having 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening. And technically we have the schedule. We have some questions that we will inform you on Monday. What are those questions about? all the speakers are informed about the content that we want to discuss, and is to find how can describe the way that we do our protocols. After that we finish all these interviews, we're gonna take a rest for 1 day, because we're gonna have to calm down our brain, because I know that it's gonna be a lot of information. Your head is gonna be big, but your heart is gonna feel great. And then we're gonna come back with a huge marathon that we call it the Occlusion Marathon. It's an event when we have most of these speakers, these guests, now to show us for 30 minutes in a marathon time how they do the protocols on everything that we're gonna have, how they treat the patients. We have people all over the world, from Brazil, all the way from Singapore, France, people all over the world, amazing people that I can call them friends, that again, we have too many things in common, that I'm aware that is different thinking process between us, but we all have the same essence. We all believe in what we want to do. Stop the chair. So this is the time. I want to you guys join us from Monday, 9 a.m., 1 p.m. for the afternoon, and 6 p.m. Miami time. We're gonna have 3 people for day in company with my partner Hamid Nassery, and we're gonna talk about how amazing is the world of occlusion, how fascinating it is, how many implications they have, and maybe in the future we're gonna be thinking in a more similar way, and the only benefit is gonna be the same humility. We're gonna be humanity. I apologize for the Spanglish, but it's this the passion. And again, thank you so much. I will see you on Monday. Be ready, because it's fascinating, the content that you're gonna be able to hear. Have a wonderful weekend. Rest, take a big breath, love your family, love your work, and be ready to get out of that comfort zone and to be able to get out of the box. Have a wonderful day. I will see you later.